Bombshow crossover episode with our very special guests, Forrest and Bomber John. Let me hear the studio audience scream.
Fellas and Sheilas, welcome back to another explosive episode of Voltz Supreme Synth VGM Dream Stream Machine podcast. The podcast that brings you the synthiest synth video game music in all the universe. Hey, now, do we have a special episode for you or what? This is the Bombshow crossover episode. And in this episode, we will be checking out the Bomberman-inspired soundtrack to the hit YouTube series Bombshow. Now, is this video game music? Well, it's not from a video game, but the music basically sits very nicely within the video game music genre. All of this music is mostly inspired by Jun Chikuma's many video game soundtracks from the Bomberman series, so it very much sounds like video game music. And it's going to be a lot of fun checking out some original Bomberman tunes, as well as tracks from the Bombshow series, written by very, very talented composers such as the Super Marcato Brothers, our good friend ModalModule, the artist known as Dr00p, and some tunes by yours truly. Now, I'm very excited to share all this with our listeners, but before we get going, I'm thrilled to announce that in this episode, we have my good friend and fellow collaborator, Forrest, coming on the show. He's going to be a guest, but he's basically going to be a co-host as well. Forrest and I worked on this episode together, and he put a lot of time into preparing for this episode. So for those who don't know, Forrest is a producer of the Bombshow series, and he was the person who orchestrated this whole collaborative soundtrack for the show. So it'll be great to have him on. And he's also informed me that the host of the Bombshow, Bomber John, will also be listening in as we record this live and may be able to tune in and make a few comments about the songs as we go. So I'll just quickly mention that I'll be putting links to all the artists' relevant web pages and stuff in the description, so you can check out more of their stuff and support them if you want. And I'm super excited to announce that the actual Bombshow soundtrack we're featuring in this episode will be available through all your favorite stores and streaming thingos. So definitely go check that out if you enjoy the tunes or want to support these very talented and hungry artists. All right, that's enough of that. Let's get this show rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the show from Castle Corp, Tower Talks, and Bombshow. It's the very talented Forrest. Forrest, welcome to Voltz Supreme Synth BGM Dream Stream Machine podcast. You've featured on many of our episodes, but it is a pleasure to finally have you on here as yourself. Welcome.
Voltz, it is a pleasure to be here. As someone who's been listening to this incredible podcast from the very first episodes, you know, laughing along with all the adventures and getting to be a part of the some of the adventures as well. It's a pleasure to finally be here as myself, and you know, we also have another guest joining us that I'm psyched for. But this is awesome, man. I think this is gonna be a blast. A blast,
excellent,
if you will.
Excellent. Yeah, and I got to say that I'm a big fan of all your work as well. The stuff that you've provided for my show has always given me a big laugh, and it's always very well done. But the productions that you've been working on over the past year, basically, or maybe a bit more now, I've been big fans of that as well. So this is the crossover episode where the two worlds collide.
Yes.
So maybe before we get any further, let's just, for the listeners, it'd be great to hear what your role is when it comes to the Bombshow.
Right. Well, you know, I got started with Castle Corp a little while back. They had me come in and do some work for Tower Talks with Mario. But, you know, they don't have an official title for me. I guess you could say I do a little bit of everything. Right now, I'm meeting with Bomber John to work on the scripts after he's kind of picked out the bombs that he'll be talking about. I edit all of the footage that they film in Bowser's Castle, and I reach out to collaborators such as yourself for music that we can use. I guess you could say I'm an editor and producer.
Yeah, wow. It must be such a fascinating world to be a part of.
It is, man. I had no idea that I would, be in these different places working with these different characters, but it's been fun. It's been cool.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, one of the main reasons we're here together is to go through some of the songs that artists have provided you and the Bombshow crew for the background music and theme songs and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to go through some of these songs. I think even though they're not strictly video game songs, I reckon it's about as close as you can get. And obviously there's a lot of inspiration taken from the Bomberman series, which is, I think people are going to hear it for themselves. So yeah, we're going to listen to all the songs from the official Bombshow soundtrack. Very exciting stuff. Why don't you just give us a quick description of those who are involved and that kind of thing? That'd be great before we start.
Yeah, totally. I would love to give a huge shout out right now to everyone who has produced music for Bombshow. Yourself, Voltz, ModalModule, Droop, and each of the Super Marcato brothers, being Will, Karl, and Marty Brueggemann. Huge thank you to the whole team. Every song was clearly crafted with a lot of love and a surprising amount of detail and precision as far as kind of matching the personality of not only Bombshow, but of the old Bomberman games. So also I think everyone involved is available for hire. So if you're looking for music for your show or movie or game, definitely reach out and message these guys. And we'll put their links in the description.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so we're going to be listening to those tracks. Anything else you want to say before we get to our first song?
Actually, yeah, Bomber John is going to be joining us at some point.
But like the Bomber John from the show, the main guy.
Yeah, totally. He's on an important mission right now. That's all I really understand. He doesn't usually fill me in on his whereabouts, but he says he's going to be listening to this broadcast and he'll call my cell phone when he has something he wants to say. Awesome.
Well, let's listen to our first track, and maybe while we're doing that, we can kind of set up the audio so we can hear we'll get a direct line from your phone maybe into the recording, so we can hear what Bomber John says without having to use your microphone.
Great. Sounds good. Cool.
Yeah. Do you want to introduce this first song?
Sure. So this first one is by Will Brueggemann of the Super Marcato Brothers. It's called When Mom's Away, the Bombs Will Play. And this was the first piece that I received after reaching out to people for submissions. And you will hear immediately, especially if you're a fan of the Super Nintendo Bomberman games, you will definitely hear the heavy influence from the series. So without saying more, let's give it a listen.
Excellent.
right, so that was When Mom's Away, the Bombs Will Play by Brueggemann. And I gotta say, I love the way that song opens up. You know, immediately you're met with all of this energy and all of these sounds that are so reminiscent of the Bomberman series. So, you know, as the first piece I ever received, also, the only visual content that I had finished at this point was the animated logo for Bombshow. And I was really proud of it and excited. And I put Will's song behind my animation and sent it to some friends and family. And at that point, it just stuck with me. I was like, this, you know, seeing the logo drop down and hearing Will's audio come in, I was like, this is the intro theme. This is how every episode is going to start. So that just kind of locked it into place for me.
Yeah, no, that little intro section is just so cool. Every single time, it just, boom, straight into it as if you're about to like start playing the game or something. I really, when I'm listening to it makes me just want to hit that start button and get going. But yeah, really, absolutely fantastic song. All the Marcato brothers really are very, very good at basically taking apart music that's been written by other composers and stuff like that, and then rebuilding it to create their own songs. And yeah, they've all done that really well, which we're gonna see as we go through some of these other songs. Yeah, no, it's incredible. Fantastic track. I couldn't agree more. All right. Oh, you know what? Looks like Bomber John is calling in. Oh, sweet. Can you answer it and connect us up? Yeah. All right. Hold on. All right. Hello? Hey, Bomberman. How you going?
It's Bomber John.
Sorry, Bomber John. And hey, would you mind just turning that music off in the background?
Hey, Kid Bomber, could you turn down the beeps for a minute? Yeah, it's the podcast guy.
Forrest, I thought you said he'd be listening to this episode as we did it.
That's what he said.
So were you able to listen to that track? What did you think, Bomber John?
Oh, yeah, cool music. It definitely makes me want to bomb. Yep.
Well, does this track, like, bring back any Bomberman memories or anything like that?
I'm not really supposed to be talking on your show.
What? How come?
Well, there's this magical wizard named Kamek, and he's the executive producer for Bombshow, and he says I'm not allowed to appear on anyone else's program, as I have pledged my allegiance to Castle Corp.
Sorry, what? He made you pledge an allegiance to Castle Corp?
Yep, it was part of the deal.
Okay. I don't really know much about this wizard guy. I'm pretty sure I saw him on some of the Tower Talk episodes or something, but yeah, I don't think he's going to find out about a few call-ins during this podcast, do you reckon?
I don't know. He seems to possess some weird magic abilities.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I've seen him on the shows. The magic and explosions, it's all just like special effects, though, right?
Special effects? You think I learned how to use bombs from special effects?
Forrest, help me out, man. What's going on?
Well, the explosions are definitely real.
You're darn right they are. Sheesh.
As for the magic, I've only spoken with Kamek twice, but I create all of the special effects in post-production, and Kamek's magic is just always in the footage before I add anything. So honestly, I'm not really sure what he's capable of.
Weird wizard tricks, that's what.
Yeah, anyway, look, we need to get on with the show, so I'm sure it'll be fine. But look, just to be safe, we'll just keep this our little secret, eh? Look, it's not like anyone listens to this podcast anyway, so...
Well, yeah, he probably won't listen to my space calls.
Space calls. So you're in outer space right now, are you?
Yep, I'm currently on an important mission to pick up pizza and explosives for a party at Rasta Bomber's house. I'm in the back seat with Punk Bomber, and Bomber the Kid is behind the wheel.
Pizza and explosives for a party. It reminds me of my youth. That's what you call a mission, is it?
The Bomber Nebula is actually a pretty peaceful place these days, so we bombers mostly just have get-togethers. I'm getting a call from Rasta Bomber. It's probably about the pizza.
Yeah, okay, sure thing. Well, we need to play some more songs, and look, if you want to call Forrest back at any time, feel free. I think it'd be great to have you come on the show.
Gotta go. Bye.
Well, that was interesting. Yeah, it'd be cool if we can get a few more calls during the show. But we probably should move on to some more tracks. That's why we're here.
Nice. Yeah, you want to lead us into this one?
Yeah, so I think, we're coming up to one of my tracks. This track I did was certainly very, very heavily inspired by a specific melody. Now, I think this melody started around the Super Bomberman 3 game as just a level select track, but as far as I know, especially in the Super Bomberman tracks, Super Bomberman games, it became a bit of a little Bomberman theme that would pop up in games later on, and I really loved it. I did hear one version of this track, which was on a Bomberman soundtrack, but not actually in the game. And it was just this this select theme, which I'll play in the background. But it had this really, really solid hip-hop beat over the top of it. And I just love... One of the things I love about this Bomberman music is kind of the juxtaposition of the really calm, and in this case it's this really calm kind of melody and floaty thing with this hard hip-hop beat over the top of it. So I don't know, I kind of wanted to do something a little bit like that, so I completely ripped the melody and just tried to turn it into something a little bit different. So this track is the Saga of Bomber John, also known as Galaxy Select 2 by me, Voltz Supreme. All right, enjoy. ladies and gentlemen, that was the Saga of Bomber John, Galaxy Select 2 by myself, Voltz Supreme. There you go.
I could listen to this song on repeat just over and over. It is, it's lush. The instrument choices are really interesting, and overall just really good energy. It kind of takes you away to like a lounge in outer space. Just a relaxing place. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do that, and it really kind of frees you up when you don't... Projects like this, you don't really have to worry about being super original. You can work with something that already exists and make it your own. So yeah, it was fun. I think
it's subtle actually. The melody, when I first heard this song, I recognized the tune, but I couldn't give it I couldn't place it. You know what I mean? It's like seeing a face in a dream and not knowing who it is, but like you know it, you know. So I finally I landed on the Bomberman battle theme, where it's like do 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 do, because the first notes that you have are
yeah.
I think you just took those first 3 notes from the battle theme.
Yeah, I guess it's all kind of connected, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, no, totally. Jun Chikuma has like woven all of the original songs from the NES game into each other in all of the future games. So
yeah,
it's definitely cool in that way.
A bit of fun. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, totally.
Especially because I made it for you.
Yeah, well, you know what the funny thing is? I haven't used this one in Bombshow yet, but soon, within the next few episodes, I'll be introducing sort of an ongoing story element to the show that you, in big part, inspired, actually, on the Discord thread. And without giving away too much, this song will really shine at those moments. So look forward to that.
Excellent. Can't wait for it.
Oh, you know what? Phone's ringing again. Looks like our boy has something to say.
All right, great.
Hey guys, yeah, that's a cool song. You know, if I close my eyes and really just listen to this one, it's like for a moment, all the explosions in my head just fade away, and there's only music. And then I wake up and I'm ready to bomb again.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I would have thought Bombermans like to kind of listen to lots of explosions.
It's weird. I've never really experienced this before, but I guess you could say this is a very relaxing piece of music.
That's good. It's nice to balance out your life a little bit, isn't it? So you still heading to that party? I mean mission?
The mission. Right, yeah, we're still on course.
Cool. So who's going to be there then? Is this the Bomberman party or something?
Well, anyone who's anybody, honestly. Lord Bagular, Black Bomber, Green Bomber, Mexican Bomber, my old pal Wario, Karaoke Bomber, and Pretty Bomber's going to be there too.
Yeah, you've mentioned Pretty Bomber before.
Well, yeah. Sometimes we'd be sent on missions in the same squadron, and, well, she really knows how to bomb. Once she gets bombing, no one is safe. You just take cover and watch her go.
Hi, what can I get you boys today?
I'm needed for the mission. Gotta go.
All right, later.
See you, Bomber John. All right, let's get to another track then. And this next one is Bombs Away by Karl Brueggemann. Now, this is another fantastic track. They're all fantastic. This one really kind of stuck out to me in how much he was able to pack into this one short little song. And Karl has actually sent us a little intro to play before we play the song. Let's hear from Karl before we play the song, but this is Bombs Away by Karl Brueggemann.
I had a great time making this track, Bombs Away. It was really fun, but also challenging to try to capture the pretty specific style and sound of the Bomberman series. I think for me, the 2 games that I was thinking of more than anything when I was starting to write this track were my 2 favorite Bomberman soundtracks, which are Bomberman 93 for the TurboGrafx by Jun Chikuma, as well as Super Bomberman 2 and the Super Bomberman series in general. Now, Super Bomberman 2 was composed by Yasuhiko Fukuda, who I also really love too. Some of those scores probably influenced me more than anything else. I love the dastardly and lively style and kind of silliness and zaniness that these games have, so I tried to capture that a little bit in this track. One of the biggest challenges for this was that I was trying to get to a point of 2 minutes of music, which is what Forrest wanted, and all the ideas I came up with were much shorter, and that's actually why this piece feels kind of stitched together. There's a lot of different short ideas that come one after the other. So it was a little bit unorthodox in how I approached that. I combined some TurboGrafx samples that I ripped myself, as well as some Super Nintendo sounds. Yeah, tried to capture the overall spirit that I love in the Bomberman music. I wasn't super particular. I didn't like go and study specific tracks and kind of break them down. I just kind of used my memory of what I love about Bomberman music and tried to incorporate that overall energy to this track.
And that was Bombs Away by Karl Brueggemann. And man, this one really takes the viewer on a ride. Like, it feels like we're moving through different, all sorts of fun and wacky places. And it's so fitting for like a silly educational journey through different video game bombs. You know, I'm going to have to take a term from the Marcato brothers and say that this piece is popcorn music. Or in other words, it entertains all by itself. Like, perhaps I could just get away with playing a piece of this song without anything on the screen and people would still sit there and watch it. So yeah, really, really fun, really entertaining piece.
Yeah, it's great. It's got tons of energy and yeah, all those lots of catchy little sections in there. It moves on to quite different things, but everything flows together quite nicely.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice that all the Marcato brothers seem to touch on a little bit is that they like to put a little bit of to me it sounds a bit Egyptian, a little Egyptian section in there, which I think is very, very Bomberman, Jun Chikuma. Would you agree? That's a little flavor that I think everyone picks up on.
Totally. I couldn't agree more. I think it's in Bomberman 93 or 94 where she features like 2 songs for sure that definitely sound like either klezmer music or like something you might hear at a bar mitzvah. Definitely like some sort of Egyptian, maybe even like Russian folk music vibe. It's hard to quite put your finger on it, but they do that so well. Each of the Marcato brothers in their pieces. Yeah,
fantastic stuff. Yep, I love that song. Very well written. And
I like that this one is more happy and upbeat because it serves as a great contrast for the more sneaky and devious moments on the show, which we'll get to in the next musical pieces that we touch on. So, yeah, a great background track all around for Bomber John to do his thing over.
Excellent stuff. All right. Well, why don't we move on?
Oh, you know what? Looks like getting a call again.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Bomber John?
This one takes me back to my childhood. Running around in the backyard with Piebot, dropping fireworks into empty lemonade jars and screwing on the lid. Bam! Glass everywhere. Anyway, a very pleasant assortment of beeps and boops here.
Yeah, it certainly was. A nice assortment of beeps and boops. That's a good way of putting it. But are you still heading off to that party? How's your mission going?
The mission? Well, we're still on our way to pick up the bombs now. We've got the pizza.
Yeah, okay. But I guess I don't really know what to talk about with pizzas and bombs. What kind of bombs are you going to get for the party?
Well, I shouldn't be telling, but we're picking up some smart bombs, the kind they use in the Lilac system.
Oh, okay. That's pretty intense for a party, isn't it?
Well, Rasta Bomber has a massive slingshot in his backyard. It's like a football goalpost. We just stick a bomb in it, pull it back, and when there's just an inch of visible fuse left, we let go. It's like fireworks, but louder.
Whoa. Okay. Wow. Where do you get them from?
Slippy Toad is gonna trade them to us.
Slippy, eh? What do you have to trade him for that?
Well, we've got these blue gems all over Planet Bomber. They're only worth 50 points, but Slippy Toad says if you crush them up, you can enhance your perception for combat purposes. Don't be like Slippy, kids. I heard he crashed his R-wing a few too many times.
Yeah, sounds like Slippy's been watching too much Breaking Bad as well.
It's Slippy. Gotta go.
All right, well, thanks again, Bomber John, for that little bit of insight into your world. We need to keep going. We got a lot of tracks to get through this episode. And up next, we have the BMan Jam from our good friend ModalModule. Hopefully, you've all listened to the episode we did with ModalModule probably a couple of episodes ago now. Very talented composer. Some of my favorite songs we've played on this podcast were his songs on that episode. So, all right, well, let's give it a listen. And ModalModule has sent in a very, very fun little intro for us to listen to before we get to the song. So, let's give it a whirl.
So Forrest asked me to make a Bomberman style tune, and I wasn't really too familiar with the music. I'd heard, a bit of it here and there, and specifically on the Super Marcato Bros video game music podcast, which is also how we're all kind of connected. Anyway, so I listened to a little bit more, and the version that I really liked of the original BGM 1 tune that was, kind of remixed throughout the series was on the Sharp 68K port. And it just had a kind of a distorted sound, so I leaned into that for my Game Boy version. And then wanted it to be kind of chilled out, to be more background while Bomber John's talking. And then I did kind of my own thing for the B section. I had a lot of fun with that. I don't think that made it into the cut of the episode that I've seen so far, but I'm sure it'll eventually get used. But anyway, that's about it. I hope you enjoy.
that was the BMan Jam from ModalModule. And yeah, what a fun tune. First of all, I love that he made that and produced it and exported it entirely on an original Game Boy system. I think that's really cool. I love how well this one captures the sneaky and mischievous side of Bomber John's character. There's so many self-destructing enemies that Bomber John talks about, as well as like landmines and booby traps. And this song fits so perfectly when he's talking about the really weird or sneaky ones on his show.
Yeah, it's a great track. It definitely has a very solid Bomberman feel to it, but listening to it, I really feel it's got that nice blend of ModalModule's own sound. He's kind of what he talked about. He said he writes a lot of kind of minor songs with heavy emotional kind of melodies. It's got that kind of bouncy Bomberman sound, but with the ModalModule deepness to it. So
yeah, totally. I know. I love how it starts off kind of like almost like sneaky and jazzy and kind of playful, and then it like builds up into that really like triumphant kind of like heroic crescendo in the final section.
Yeah, I think one of the things he mentioned was that he wasn't too familiar with the Bomberman music, and I think I was in a very similar boat as well. It was only probably a few months before you approached me about this project, and you and Utopia Nemo were sharing some of your favorite Bomberman songs on the Voltz Supreme Discord, and
right.
I really enjoyed those tracks, and I was like, man, what have I been missing? I did play a few Bomberman demos, like I think it was Bomberman World on PlayStation is what I had as a kid. It was just a demo. It was fun, but I never went out and bought the game. But my other experience, my real Bomberman experience is, I can't remember what it's called. It's like Bomberman Wii or something. It's just a downloadable Bomberman game for the Wii. And I've played that quite a bit, but the music is not Jun Chikuma. It's someone else. And the music's decent, but it never captured my attention. If anything, it just kind of stresses you out. So yeah, I really enjoyed when you sent me you sent me a good handful of tracks. Like, check out some of these tracks; they're really good. As soon as I heard them, I'm like, man, this is a series I need to get into. This is some amazing music of all different styles. So yeah, thank you for forcing us to be exposed to this this excellent music.
I'm glad I could. Yeah, I when I discovered her music originally through Bomberman Hero, I immediately started looking up her soundtracks, and one soundtrack led me to another. Everything between the original NES game all the way up to some of the stuff on the N64 and GameCube, I think is really strong. So yeah, happy to share it as a fan of video game music. Happy to keep it alive.
Excellent. All right. Well, up next, I think we've got.
Wait. Here he is again.
All right. Put him on. Yeah, put him on. It's good fun.
This one was very interesting. Feels like I'm on a tactical stealth mission. Do you know my friend Old Solid Snake?
From Metal Gear Solid?
That's the one. Not the young Snake, the old Snake. He loves blowing stuff up, and I imagine this is what would be playing in his head when he's sneaking around enemy bases and planting motion sensor bombs. A real sneaky bomber, that one.
Yeah, I can imagine him inside a cardboard box, and the cardboard box is just kind of boop, boop, boop to the beat as it kind of shuffles along.
I can see that myself.
All right, well, thanks again for calling in, Bomber John. Really appreciate your insight into these tracks.
Hold on, fellas. I just got a message on my cellular device.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, it's Kamek. He says he wants me to... what the heck? Hey, you bombers ever heard of a VGM, a synth, VGM Dream Stream machine? Well, I'll be blasted. I don't have the...
Bomber John, sorry, we should have mentioned this. We didn't really introduce you properly at the beginning. I should have mentioned that this podcast that we're doing is actually called Voltz Supreme's Synth VGM Dream Stream Machine Podcast. It is the podcast that plays the synthiest synth video game music in the whole entire universe. So, congratulations.
Well, I see. Forrest, I assume you and Voltz are patching in from separate locations?
Yeah, I'm just at home. Voltz and I are doing a video call.
Right. Well, go ahead and play another tune. I gotta go.
Oh. Okay. All right.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
I really thought he'd get excited about being on the show, but he kind of shut down a little bit then.
Not sure what that was about, but yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out. Psyched for the next track.
Yeah. All right. You want to introduce us into this one? And we've got another intro before the song plays.
Right. Yeah. So before this next intro, this one is Bomberlings from Marty Brueggemann, and I'll let Marty do the rest of the talking.
Hi, my name is Marty Brueggemann, and I wrote a piece I called Bomberlings. And I found myself extremely inspired. I was inspired by the music of the games themselves, especially that first run composed by Jun Chikuma. I was inspired by my memories of first playing the games with my friends. I was especially inspired by the experience I've had performing on stage with my brothers and our friend Jaime, playing Bomberman music to a live audience. Something that I love about homage composing is it gives us an opportunity not only to honor and explore the musical language of a work, it gives us an opportunity to make a piece of art that celebrates how that entire work makes us feel. For me, Bomberman reminds me that wonderful things can come in small packages. I love the feeling of being surprised beyond your wildest expectations or imagination. These were some of the thoughts floating around in my mind when working on the piece, and whether or not any of that shows up for you, I hope you enjoy listening.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Bomberlings by Marty Brueggemann. Another fantastic track. Lots of Bomberman vibes there. I got a comment. The Marcato Bros are such talented composers. Again, a common theme through all of their tracks. The ability to it's not really jump from genres, but even in just like 2 bars, like that first little do, and then the next little section is almost different, but it goes so well. And then it moves into another section, which is, I don't know, I don't have the vocabulary to kind of describe what I'm wanting to say, but just the way they're able to kind of seamlessly move from one emotion to another, all in the same song, and make it all fit. That's a skill I certainly don't have, at least without a lot of effort and trying. So yeah, inspiring stuff. Great track, lots of little catchy bits. Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Definitely, I totally feel you on how many emotions and sections and places that their songs can take you all in one 2-minute chunk of time. I don't quite have the musical vocabulary to properly praise that skill myself, but I think at least the musical theory knowledge there must be very, very strong in the Brueggemann family.
Yes, certainly.
Anyway, I love how purely fun and joyful this song is to listen to. It's just really easy listening, and if there's like a certain exploding thing that Bomber John has some particularly funny or silly things to say about it, this song totally fits that mood, and it's always the first one I go to. I think it's really playful and exciting, while still having that mischievous quality that fits the Bomberman character and my bomb show so well. So yeah, really, really, really grateful to have this piece for the show.
Yeah, fantastic. And we should probably mention the Super Marcato Brothers. Will and Karl have their own podcast that we're both big fans of, which is the Super Marcato Brothers podcast, I believe it's called.
Yep.
They go through video game music, and they really dissect the music from a theoretical point of view, at least more so than a lot of other podcasts like this one. So yeah, I think, again, I think the Marcato Brothers podcast is where we all kind of met on their Discord. It's a little mixing
absolutely
pot of cultures and different people.
Right? Oh, it's been really exciting to have an online community of friends all through their Discord. Props to them for creating an environment where music producers and video editors and just fans of video games and music alike can all get together and hang out and collaborate on projects like this one. So
fantastic.
Cheers to them. Yeah, the last thing I want to say about this track is it's got that kind of Russian folk music sound again. That it's like as soon as the song opens, it sounds like something you'd hear at a bat mitzvah celebration, Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Bomber John again. All right, here we go.
All right, put him on.
Hey, what's going on?
Well, my thoughts are, when I was still training at Bomber Academy, me and the boys would play bombsketball after classes. Most of the games just ended up with all of us chucking bombs at each other, but we liked it that way. Yeah, this song takes me back to the carefree days before my construction job.
You worked in the construction business for a while. That seems a little bit counter-intuitive, doesn't it?
I don't want to talk about it.
Wait, guys, real quick. I got to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
All right, see you later.
Sounds like a plan. All right, let's take a break. I'm gonna go grab a coffee as well. All right, see you soon.
Hey, Bomber John. I got your message. You said you wanted to speak privately?
Kamek found out about my call-ins.
How?
I don't know, but I guess he's got me bugged with one of his tiny crystal balls or something. Anyway, he wants me to deliver a special Bombshow promo package to Mr. Supreme.
A Bombshow promo package? I've never gotten a Bombshow promo package.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. It's a bomb.
Oh, jeez. Well, you're not gonna do it, are you?
Kamek says if I don't do it, Bombshow goes bye-bye and we both lose our jobs.
You can't bomb Voltz.
I will not go back to construction work, mister. And don't you try and stop me, or I might have to make an extra delivery.
Oh, boy.
So you just tell Voltz that there's a promotional package on the way to his studio and keep the rest to yourself.
Sure thing, Bomber John.
Great. Bye.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Got my coffee. You ready to pick up where we left off?
Oh, yeah. I just got a weird text from a friend, but yeah, let's just keep going.
Yeah, okay. I think your phone was still on or something while you were peeing. I'm looking at the recording and there's like a lot of signal coming through.
Oh.
Are you feeling all right there? You okay to keep going?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if I want to go back and listen to that or not. That looks...
No.
Yeah. Anyway, at least... Now I've got an audio file of you going to the toilet. If you ever double cross me, it'll be posted out to the world.
Oh, dear.
I'm sure it'll go viral as well.
Let's hope.
All right. Sorry. Let's get back into it. So, up next, we were going to go through our favorites. So, all right. So this is a Bombshow episode, but of course, it would not be complete without playing some original Bomberman tracks. And right now, I think we're going to move into a little favorites section where we play some of our favorite songs from throughout the series. And Forrest, you're up first.
Nice. All right, cool. I'm very excited for this section because this is where we get to spotlight Jun Chikuma's work. Not that she's the only Bomberman composer, but she's definitely the one that inspired me to find all of this music that I love. And I've actually got a story for this next one, but essentially, if I hadn't heard this song when I did, there very well may not be a Bomb Show today. It kind of led me on a little journey. So let's go ahead and play this next song. My first favorite is Redial on the 1998 Bomberman Hero soundtrack for Nintendo 64. Let's give it a go. All right, so that was Redial from Bomberman Hero, and I love that piece so much. Right? It's somehow it's got like extra nostalgia baked into the music. Like I just hear that one, and boom, I'm back in my youth. But essentially, the story goes. It was 2012. I'm at a good friend's house for a party that he's hosting, and it's a fairly intimate group of people from high school, maybe 10 or 12 people, and we all have like a common interest in video games and music. So midway through this party, we've all been laughing and catching up, and we've all been having a merry time. And my buddy says, "Forrest, you've got to see this game, man. It's funny and ridiculous, and the soundtrack is awesome." And he pops in Bomberman Hero into his N64. The game comes on. He gives me the controller. The opening music comes up. It's already really interesting and different, especially for like a Nintendo title. It's got that drum and bass going on. And the game itself is very silly and kind of primitive, and the robots all look like maybe a child imagined them. So it's a funny game, and we're all kind of laughing at the nature of this silly game. But I get to level 2, and Redial comes on, and something between the atmosphere in the room, just how much fun we're all having, and how just odd and fun this game is. The music was just like such a supplement to that energy, and everyone's just like vibing, and I'm really enjoying this music. And I took that energy home with me, and I looked up the soundtrack to this game, and it sent me on a small journey into the soundtracks for all of the Super Bomberman games. And I downloaded them on an emulator, and I started playing them. And that's about where my little Bomberman journey ended in 2012. But fast forward 7 years later, here I am trying to decide who the next character for Tower Talks is going to be, who Mario is going to interview next. And I thought back to Bomberman Hero and just how wacky of a game that was. And so essentially, without that party or without Redial, I very well may not have ever thought of Bomber John or Bomberman being on Mario's show, and of course not having his own show. So it's a big reason why Bombshow exists today.
Yeah, wow. I don't have any nostalgic connections to that song at all, yet it is I could put it up there in some of my top video game tracks that I love. It's just absolutely fantastic. Right?
Yes.
It's quite simple, but everything about it is just perfect, isn't it?
I totally agree. It's one of those songs where like every note is just right in the perfect spot, and it's very simple but very, very catchy. Yeah, great track.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad you brought that one in, because if you didn't, I would have. Nice. So your next track looks quite interesting. How about you introduce what you've chosen for us next?
Yeah. So this next track is actually not from any Bomberman video game. It is from an obscure and apparently very rare 1991 CD called Music from Bomberman. And I have no idea how you acquired it. I know it was only released in Japan. And it's a very odd CD because it's got 36 tracks. The first 3 tracks on it are Jun Chikuma remixes. She remixed some of her most early Bomberman songs in these really fun and wacky ways. And then the remaining 33 tracks are just the original songs from the NES 1983 Bomberman game and from the Bomberman for TurboGrafx game. So it's this bizarre CD. If anyone knows how to get a hold of it, let me know. I've looked for it on eBay. I looked for it on Google. Apparently, it probably doesn't exist. I think anyone who owns this CD, they probably still own it because it means a lot to them. Let's put it that way. This next song is called BGM1 Human Rhythm Remix, and I found it on Jun Chikuma's SoundCloud, and then I found it on Kingdom Hearts Insider, which is like a really comprehensive website for all video game music. So I want to preface, before we play this song, let's just get in the Wayback Machine and go to 1983 and play the song that it was that's being remixed, the original stage theme from Bomberman for NES. So yeah, you'll hear in this next track that it's a remix of that, and it is it's almost hard to imagine that this remix came from that simple tune, but you'll hear it right away. So without further ado, enjoy Human Rhythm Remix.
Excellent.
All right, folks, that was BGM1 Human Rhythm Remix from the Music from Bomberman CD.
Man, that was so cool. I am shocked to when you said it was from 1991. I had no idea because you sent me the link to listen to on the SoundCloud, and I just assumed that when it says this was uploaded 10 years ago, it was made 10 years ago. So that is really cool to think that all the way back in 91, she was producing this kind of really cool stuff on the side as well. Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, fantastic production. I agree. It would be easy to think this is from a more modern piece. Yeah, what I love about this song is that it feels so rich with Japanese culture. Like, to me, it feels like something you might hear at a nighttime street festival in Kyoto or Osaka. And it's like you can just smell the food carts cooking, maybe some dancers performing in the background, but it just feels like whatever scene she had in her mind when she was composing this, like, it seems like a really cool place to be.
Yeah, lots of cool traditional sounds with some pretty solid beats and even some nice little synth flavors in there as well.
Right. Yeah, what a blend of cultures and instruments. And like you mentioned during our break, she has definitely been very involved in an Arabic music scene. I believe one of her this website that she curates is it's like Arab music something, but these days she's performing in a trio where she switches between drums and a flute called a ney, and it's her and two other musicians, and they perform just Arab music songs at a concert hall in Tokyo. You can, if you follow her on Twitter, you'll see the the posts that she does from the show. But essentially, yeah, you can feel like it's not only Japanese culture in this song. There's definitely some Arabic flavors in there as well, which I think is just really cool. Like she is doing Bomberman stuff, and then she's also passionate about Arab music. Like what a diverse palette she's got going on.
Yeah, and it definitely shows up in her songs how she's got such a wide range of styles, and that unique kind of mixture just creates some really cool, unique music. But yeah, thanks for sharing that. And yeah, definitely go. She's got a lot of music because she hasn't been doing Bomberman music for about 20 years. Hey.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, so if you want to hear more recent Jun Chikuma music, go to her SoundCloud. It's probably a good place to start.
Right, yeah, I want to say real quick, she's got some other remixes. This is only one of 3 that appeared on that CD. The other 2 are really funny. Like, she went for like an overtly 80s kind of hip-hop flavor on one of the other remixes with like vocal samples of a Japanese guy going, "Whoa, hey!" And it's like very silly, super cheesy in a great kind of way. So check those out. Yeah, check out her SoundCloud.
All right. Well, I'm excited
to
start.
Voltz.
Oh, come on, man.
It's he's got a lot to say.
Every time.
Hey, Bomber John, what's going on?
Oh, hey guys, I gotta say, this music is awesome for partying to. We're playing it right now at Rasta Bomber's house.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a great party. Wario brought his motorcycle, and Old Man Solid Snake showed up with a duffel bag full of flashbangs. There's so many bombers here, too. It's really packed.
That sounds like a fantastic party. It must be a real explosive atmosphere in there.
Yes, but I probably won't be able to call for a while, actually. I think we're gonna all throw the flashbangs at each other. But, maybe after that.
Yeah, alright, well, stay safe. Hopefully you can call in a few more times before we finish the episode and, make some more comments. Thanks for...
John, is that you?
Oh, it's Pretty Bomber. I gotta go. See ya.
All right, thank you for calling again.
Yep, see ya. Pretty Bomber. See where that goes.
Yeah, stupid things happen when girls are around people with bombs.
Yeah, I hope he can stay focused. All right.
All right. Well, next section. We're gonna get to my favorite Bomberman songs, and this is really, it's obviously hard to try and pick 2 songs out of all this, out of an entire series, but I have to say, of all the amazing things about Jun Chikuma's music, the thing that really gets me excited is the variation, but also the juxtaposition of styles. And I think my favorite soundtrack would have to be Hero from the N64 as well. That is just an insane soundtrack. That is like nothing I've heard before as far as video game soundtracks go. It is just the stuff in that. There you've got some really chilled out tracks like Redial that we've already listened to.
Yep.
And then you've got some just absolutely wild songs that
zany stuff.
Which just, oh man, I got so much respect for someone like Jun Chikuma, who's been writing some really melodic songs, and she's basically probably set up what Bomberman music is, and then coming along to Bomberman Hero, and maybe some of the other soundtracks as well. She moves into different areas, but Bomberman Hero, it's just kind of stands out on its own as this insane experimental video game soundtrack. So yeah, my 2 favorite soundtracks, probably the 2 soundtracks with my favorite songs on them, that's probably more accurate, would be Hero and Saturn Bomberman. So I'm going to play a song from each of them. Rather than find my favorite songs, I tried to find 2 songs on opposite sides of the spectrum. So the first song we're going to play is Staff Roll from Saturn Bomberman, And this is what I would call just a really chilled, quite a nicely written song. It's really relaxing. To me, I just think of a sunset down the beach or something like that. This is really cool. And then after that, we're going to swing in the complete opposite direction. Something that's just really harsh and, yeah, insane is a good way of putting it. So, first off, let's give this track a listen. I absolutely love this track. I have played it before on the show, but we'll play it again anyway. This is the staff roll from Saturn Bomberman, I believe 1996. So let's give it a listen.
Awesome.
So that was Staff Roll from Saturn Bomberman 1996, and that is a fantastic track. I mean, from the double bass introduction, then I think there's like a little, sounds like a Quincy Jones little sample used there with the percussion. Austin Powers could be walking in at any moment. and then yeah, that song is just perfect. The really smooth synth melodies over the top of that that percussion and kind of samba bossa nova guitar. Yeah, absolutely love it. And the way the song ends as well with that that portamento synth just kind of trailing off into the distance as it kind of winds down. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I think we were both mentioning as we were listening, the production, I think this the Saturn Bomberman could be the peak of Bomberman music production. I'm willing to say that. As far as traditional concept of production goes, there's some really nice sounding tracks on there with no hardware limitations or anything like that.
Yeah, it's a really strong piece. I mean, just listening to it on these headphones, the panning that she does with those plucky strings, and then, like you said, you've got that portamento synth just kind of trailing around, and it's almost hypnotic. I love that even without doing any melodic callbacks to her previous Bomberman music, like she's known to do in a lot of these earlier games, you still get that Jun Chikuma like essential flavor in this song. I think it really shows. It certainly reminds me of Milky and some of the Bomberman Hero tracks. It's just so relaxing with really interesting instruments and synths. Really phenomenal production on this one. I agree. I think between this and maybe to some Bomberman Hero, I think maybe these are two of the strongest games in the series as far as production goes.
Yeah, really, I love in these later kind of soundtracks these lounge vibes that she's putting in these songs, and how she mixes this relaxed. I mean, that song was pretty straight up relaxed all the way through, but other songs like I think it's Amusement World, where you've got the bossa nova guitar bashing away, and then this kind of drum and bass beat comes in, and she's mixing in these really relaxed styles with quite upbeat and energetic other genres of music. Really cool. But I think I really wanted to do this. I wanted to go from something really relaxed into just the complete opposite. So this is we're going back to Bomberman Hero from the N64. And this track, I don't know if you can put any context to this, but this track is called Landlord. And my goodness, if my landlord turned up at my house with this music playing in the background, I would be a little bit nervous. So
that would be alarming, yeah.
Let's give this a whirl. This is an excellent experimental, ambient, weird track. I love it. Landlord by Jun Chikuma. Enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Landlord from Bomberman Hero by Jun Chikuma. And I think I pretty much nailed it with polar opposites there. We had our ultra relaxing martinis by the beach while the sun sets, and then this is just like someone's like screaming in your face, and it's just that sampled sound. She uses it a lot through all of the Bomberman Hero soundtrack. It's an interesting kind of thing. It's the sampled sound. It sounds like a chord, and so she uses the chord almost like a melody. Usually when you're working your way up through the chords in a scale, you'll go from major to minor, depending on what the right chord is within that key, I mean. But what she's done, she's just taken a chord and she's done melodies with it, or she's done a chord progression but it's the same sample every time, and it just creates this really. Sometimes it sounds quite nice and pleasant. Other times, like this, I think there's a few samples maybe mashed together for extra dissonance. But that is, that's an angry sounding little line there.
Are you referring to the da 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 da, or was it a different? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I like that a lot in this track. She uses it in other songs on Hero too. I'll have to look for it.
I guess the whether it's the same sample or not, I'm not sure. But definitely that idea of like a one finger chord. If you can imagine that, you've got your keyboard. You just press one finger down and you get a whole chord.
Right.
And with that one sample, you start playing around, and what would usually be like a major to a minor is now stuck major to a major. So it's going to have that kind of dissonance. It doesn't quite sound right.
Right.
So I think there's heaps of that throughout this whole soundtrack. This kind of one finger chord, I guess you could call it.
I think so too. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah, this song for me is definitely fascinating because there's so many sounds that are not musical. Just kind of atonal stuff thrown in, kind of like robot. Like it almost sounds like you're walking into a room of robots playing instruments. Like you can hear their arms creaking, you can hear the servos, like spinning and stuff. And that's cool, man. I think it really captures this vibe. I think for context in the game, everything feels really robotic. All the stages, you're always bombing robots, whether they look like chickens or creatures. They always blow up, and there's little, they're always little robots. So, I think it fits the game really well. But as a standalone piece, quite chaotic on this one.
Okay, so I guess that was our little favorite section. Maybe sometime in the future we can do another episode with a lot more Bomberman tracks, but we're moving back to the Bombshow soundtrack now. And I have touched on this a little bit already. We're going to go to another one of my songs. I really, really wanted to do a mash of bossa nova with some really high intensity drum beats and stuff like that. Because that really, again, I'm probably referencing Amusement World, I believe it's called, from Saturn Bomberman, where it's got that that bossa nova guitar pattern with these really intense drums going over the top, and it's just that it's just putting those two things that are completely opposite together. Something that's really high energy and intense, and then bossa nova really is like a very laid back and relaxing, chilled out kind of style. So I wanted to take a little bit of bossa nova and mix it with some high intensity. So I don't know. Well, people can judge for themselves whether or not I've pulled it off. But this next track I call Bossa Bomber. So let's give it a whirl. right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Bossa Bomber. And again, I was kind of really going for that that contrast of the really soothing, relaxing sounds while mashing in a whole bunch of really intense, high energy stuff. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I have so many thoughts on this one. First of all, I love it. When you first told me that you were doing a bossa nova drum and bass track, I had no idea what to expect. I love both genres, I love the relaxing nature of bossa nova, and then I love the, stimulating, energizing drum and bass energy. So when you sent me this, I was blown away at how good of a sound you put together with the two genres. I love to go on jogs around the city to break up, the time that I spend editing for Bombshow. And I'll have this in my earbuds while I'm jogging, and when this song comes on, it's like I picked up a star in Mario Kart. It's like a boost. There's energy in this music, man, and it's good energy, and I just can't help but just run as fast as I can. It feels great. It's an awesome song.
Oh, thank you very much. All right, well, but we still got a couple more tracks from the Bombshow soundtrack, and I think we should we should mention that, gosh, I don't know if it's going to be ready by the time this episode comes out, but we are planning on releasing this soundtrack to the wide world, very soon.
Yes.
So yeah, it should be available soon. All the songs you hear from this episode will be on there. Maybe a couple of little extra bonus little bits as well. But yeah, you just have to wait and see. Definitely you can be following any of my channels, and I'll let you know. Probably the best place if you want to keep up to date with stuff I'm involved with is Discord, and we'll definitely put a link to the Bombshow Discord in all the descriptions as well, to keep up to date with the mischievous doings of Bomber John. And we haven't actually heard from Bomber John in a while. I hope things are going all right over there.
I hope so too. It sounds like quite a party. So, guess he's busy chucking bombs.
Yeah. So we have up next another track from Brueggemann. And again, very excited to share this track with everyone. This is another banger, if I can say that.
Bomber John would be pleased. Yeah.
Well, this next track is called Nuclear Family by Brueggemann. And the Super Marcato Brothers recently played this on one of their episodes, one of their yearly original showcase episodes. So I thought I'd take a little snippet of their discussion that they had before playing this song on their podcast. So we'll give that a whirl and then play this excellent track. All right.
My second, I think I played my first Bomberman track last time on original showcase, and this is my second one. To me, this one definitely leans in a slightly quirkier direction. Like the last one is just sort of fun background video game music. This one, I really tried to get into sort of the the tritonic, dark but playful sound
devious
of the Bomberman music.
I definitely got into the devious vibe with mine,
yeah,
so that's cool.
And like the other ones that we did, to try to, because Bomberman isn't a series that belongs to one console, using a mixture of chip sounds from old arcade things to NES to Genesis to Super Nintendo.
Love it.
Had fun kind of doing a blend here. So this track is called A Nuclear Family.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was A Nuclear Family by Will Brueggemann. And another amazing track, goes in so many different places. I think it's really kind of unique instrument choice. He's taken sounds from different kind of generations of consoles. You've got some really old chiptune sounds in there, and then you've got some drums that are just sound like, modern day drums and stuff like that. Really cool track. My favorite bit of this song, which puts a smile on my face every single time, it's got that little stop and that little call back to the original Bomberman theme. And it's not the Bomberman theme, but when you hear it, it's like, yes, that is, you know exactly what it's referencing, that original Bomberman theme. And then it goes into that really epic kind of section just before it loops back to the start. Amazing track. I love it.
Me too. Yeah. I think everybody did a great job of doing a little callback to some Jun Chikuma melody here or there in the music. I love this one, and I think it has a really interesting mood, a very unique mood that works for a variety of situations on Bombshow. I think particularly what comes to mind is when Bomber John is describing something technical or sciencey, perhaps even some strange explosive phenomenon, something that kind of confuses him. I recently used it while Bomber John was describing a weird magical pumpkin, and he didn't really like it or trust it. So this song was perfect to kind of emphasize his feelings toward it. I love how just musically, I love how it builds towards that crescendo at the end. It goes from being kind of this almost like sciencey kind of technical piece to like this really emotional, big, feeling of triumph at the end.
Very heroic,
yeah. I want to add,
just the whole song just really opens up.
Right, yeah, exactly. That dissonance or that kind of uncertain feeling really blossoms out. I want to say Will is really an incredible musical storyteller, and I think one thing he's like particularly good at is capturing quirky and comical situations. I would point you, if you're curious to hear more of his work, check out this one song that I really like, In the Laboratory, from his album Superstar Squadron. It really paints this picture of being in like a mad scientist's lab. And he's so good at using sounds to kind of paint pictures, because it's like a chiptune album, but you get the feeling like through the sounds he uses that there's like beakers and bubbles, and you're just surrounded by all this weird sciencey stuff, all through the medium of chiptune. Really impressive. So I think they're kind of related.
And I think we'll put some links to Super Marcato Brothers music as well, because if you're interested in any of the music from the Brueggemann brothers, then my goodness, they have a very large library of stuff that they've done, and it's all there for you to soak up and enjoy. So make sure you check that out. Let's keep the bomb train a rolling. We got another one of my songs here. So this next track is called Decades of Dome Damage, and I no doubt took my main inspiration from Bomberman Hero. I was a little bit stuck trying to get going on this song, and I think there was one track on Bomberman Hero that really solidified what I wanted to do with this track. I think, how do I pronounce this? It is Oropharynx, I believe is what it's called. And I think I remember just, I wasn't sure how to start, and I listened to that song, and it's just, the bass line is not really strictly locked to a traditional key. And then it's got all these synth sounds going on, and I just thought, all right, I'm just going to write some just a weird bass line with the synth. Not worry about sticking strictly to any key or anything like that. And the other thing that I did want to bring into this song, well, two things actually. One of them was that one finger chord. So I have got a sample that I use on this song, which is that one finger chord. You hear it right at the start, I believe, as well as all the weird synthy sounds that I use on my Moog little fatty. And also the sub bass, those bass sounds that if you're listening on your phone, you won't even hear them. They are so low that you need a subwoofer to hear these sub bass sounds. And that's something that's quite prevalent in the Bomberman Hero soundtrack. So yeah, this next track is Decades of Dome Damage by myself from the Bombshow soundtrack. Enjoy.
All right, and that was Decades of Dome Damage by Voltz Supreme. And that is a really cool, really funky song. I think my first thoughts are that the detail with which you recreated, I don't know if you were trying to, but it sounds like you recreated and souped up some of the most iconic sounds from Bomberman Heroes, library of synths, and it sounds amazing. It sounds like almost like a remastered edition of the Bomberman Heroes soundtrack, produced by Voltz Supreme, which I would love to hear. If they make a sequel to Bomberman Hero at some point, I pray they hire you to get on that. But yeah, I mean this track is so high energy. I could definitely talk about how it fits into Bombshow, but I think I'll turn it back to you and just say that this is awesome. Really, really, really fun piece of music. I like all the instrument choices a lot.
Yeah. Why, thank you very much. Well, I did do a remix of Milky from Hero, but instead of going down the synth avenue, I took it in the opposite direction and tried to do something a bit more smoother and jazzier. We might play that later if we have enough time. But yeah, I'd be really intimidated to remix that soundtrack because it is so solidly locked in every individual sound. It's what makes it such a cool soundtrack. And for me to kind of redo some of those things, I don't think I could do it. I really don't.
I feel you. I think I'd rather you take like the approach that the Marcato Brothers take with their sort of reimagined albums and just do more tracks as if the game had like extra levels or something.
Yeah, that would actually be a lot of fun.
Yeah. As for Bombshow, I think it's funny. I wasn't sure what to do with this piece at first because it's so high energy and in your face. And I was like, I don't know how Bomber John's going to talk over this. But as soon as I came up with the idea for the blast room, I was just like, this is it. This is it builds up this new anticipation after your attention span might be over. Suddenly this one comes on, you're in the blast room and you don't know what's about to go down, but yeah, it's devious and fun. Perfect blast room theme.
Yeah, that's a great part of each episode.
Cool.
Everyone, if you haven't watched any of the Bomb Show episodes, I shouldn't have to say it, but get out there. They're all on YouTube. There'll be more links in the description. Get out, give them a watch, and also check out the old Tower Talk stuff as well, which is some of my favorite content on YouTube. Really funny, little episodes, great voice acting, great acting by the actual real characters that are in there as well. But
oh, thank you. I'm glad to hear you're enjoying it. A lot of fun to produce.
No, I'm always excited when that 3 weeks rolls around and there's a new episode coming out.
Nice, cool. Yeah, check them out, guys. It's a fun time.
All right, well, let's move on to our...
Voltz.
I think we're on to our...
Voltz. You're not going to believe it. He looks like he survived. Getting another call.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Connected up.
Hey, Bomber John.
Forrest, Voltz, that was the craziest game of flashbang in my whole life. It was like bang here and flash there. There was banging in every direction. Mexican Bomber and me ended up knocking each other out. I'm still dizzy.
Oh, gosh. So, who won the game of flashbang?
Yeah, well, you don't win at flashbang. You just try to bang and flash as many other bangers as you can before there's no flashbangs left.
That sounds like everyone won then.
Wait, it's a slingshot time. They're gonna load up the first smart bomb.
So you're saying they just light the bomb, pull it back, and let it go?
Yep, straight up into the sky. Yes, looks like they're lighting it now. This should be good.
All right.
It seems like it's got an extra long fuse. Oh, it's up. It's coming down. Oh. Must have been a dud.
Whoa! What was that? Oh man!
No.
Does that sound like it went off? Do you think he's all right? I mean, I guess these Bomberman people get blown up all the time in the games, but like for real life Bomberman, how does it work?
I've always wondered that too, but if everything he's told me is correct, then he has survived literally hundreds of explosions. So I think I'll be okay.
Wow. Yeah, well, I guess we'll just see if he calls us back. But I think we're pretty much at the end of the show now, and this brings us to our last track, which you like to use to play out each episode of the Bomb Show.
The play out is going to be MVP2, Bomb Show Mix. Originally produced by Droop and edited by myself. I discovered Droop while making an Instagram story. I went to add music to my story. I typed in Mario Paint, and I noticed that an artist named Droop had made a song called Mario Paint. And I liked it a lot. really my style. I grew up on Adult Swim watching those bumps. You remember those like maybe 6-second clips of some visual, some like kind of trippy night scene mixed with some really cool piece of like hip hop or electronic music. And Droop's music sounds so much like that to me, like very maybe Jay Dilla or MF Doom influenced. Regardless, I remember listening to his whole discography the next day, or most of it, on my landscaping shift, and I was just thinking, man, this would be so cool to have this MVP2 track on Bombshow somehow. And I thought to myself, oh, what an awesome outro theme this would be. And I thought of Bomber John like dancing along with it. And by the end of that one landscaping shift, you know, I have a lot of time out there to think to myself as I'm, you know, digging up weeds or replanting something. I just knew I had to reach out to Droop and see if he'd be cool with it. And he was great about it. He was like, yeah, you know, why not? This sounds fun. So really, really nice person to collaborate with here. And it was fun adding these samples to the song. That's about all I have to say right now, but go check out Droop. He's doing some really interesting things. He's in Canada, and there seems to be a beat scene of him and his friends making some really trippy, out there kind of hip-hop electronic fusion stuff right now. So go check out Dr00p on Instagram, and you'll find his work.
Yeah, we'll stick a link in the description as well. But I gotta say, this is a super, super cool song, and I think it really, it's a nice contrast to the rest of the soundtrack. Really, it's quite a different style, and a good way to finish each episode. But yeah, fantastic track. I really enjoy the edit that you've done with all the little Bomberman cuts. Little sample sounds in there. I think it really takes it from a great track to a great bomb show track.
Nice. I think so too.
Guys and girls, folks, fellas and Sheilas, humans and humanoids, bombers and bomber creatures, thank you so much for tuning in for this episode of Voltz Supreme's Synth VGM Dream Stream Machine podcast. I almost forgot the name of my own podcast for a second. And our crossover with the Bomb Show and Forrest. Thank you so much for coming on the show and being a part of this and having us, putting together this whole project to bring all these people together, have us make some, well, I'll speak for the others, have us make some amazing music. And I can't wait for more Bomb Show episodes. The soundtrack will be coming out fairly shortly. Maybe when this episode is released, if we are well organized, but we'll just have to see.
It's been my pleasure, Voltz. Super fun opportunity to be on this show today. Thanks for having me on. And I look forward to more collaborations and opportunities to appear on the Voltz Supreme Synth VGM Dream Stream Machine in the future.
Yeah, me too. And make sure you say thank you to Bomber John if you talk to him again for coming on the show.
If he made it through that last blast, I will let him know.
All right, well, everyone, remember to stay synthetic. We'll see you next month for the next episode. Thanks, Forrest. See you all later.
Awesome. See you later. Yeah. Oh, that was a great podcast, man. Sorry if I rambled a bit too much.
No, it's all good. I'll just chop out most of what you said, and it'll probably end up being a good episode. No, it's all good. Yeah. Oh, have a enjoy the rest of your day. Well, it's the rest of your night over there, and I'll enjoy the rest of my day, I guess.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Whoa. Just a sec. What was that?
What's going on?
I don't know. It sounded like some weird truck just went past or something. Hold on. I'll be back in a sec.
Oh, okay.
Oh! Whoa! Is this airplane? It's like a spaceship outside.
Oh, really?
Did you hear that? There's like literally some weird spaceship outside.
Yeah. Wow. That.
Oh no! I you know what? I think it's Bomber John's cruiser, but it's gone. He just took off. That's kind of weird.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy! Wow.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna have to go away from the mic for a second.
Sure.
Oh, it's it's left like a box, like a package or something. Hold on, I'll just bring it back.
Oh, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, hold on a second. Oh, this is cool. So, this must be the promo package or something.
Oh, oh, that's neat. A promo package. Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow, Voltz. I just want to say, man, it's been really great doing these collaborations with you, man. You're almost kind of like family to me, man.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just trying to open it up. Yeah, no, it's been good. We'll do more.
Yeah. Yeah, many more.
Let's see. Oh, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff in here. 2 Bombshow t-shirts. Awesome. Might be a little small for me. I've been working out a fair bit lately, but the kids might fit the kids. I guess you really appreciate me doing the show because having him on. This is really neat.
There's not like a big bomb in there, right?
I don't know. I hope so. It's a bomb show package, isn't it? There should be a little toy bomb in here or something.
Yeah. Let me know if you find one in there.
No, not really.
Oh.
There's nah.
They really did.
All,
no bomb.
Just t-shirts, stickers, some flyers to hand out. Okay. I had a Bombshow pin. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Like they put an enamel pin.
I don't know. It's like one of those old school kind of disc-shaped metal buttons, with a safety pin on the back, a badge kind of thing. It's got a little, it's got a little switch underneath it. I guess it's got a light on the front.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds cool. I wonder why I've never received a promo package then.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll put it on the badge, I guess. See what happens. Hey, that's kind of cool. Lights up.
It has LEDs on it.
Oh, it's got like one little red light at the top of the fuse on the Bombshow logo.
Oh, how neat.
Yeah, it's not very bright. It's actually kind of pointless, really. Like it's just this dull red flashing light at the top. Look, it's a cool package, but honestly, I don't know why people are interested in badges. Like, who would put a metal disc on their shirt and just walk around, especially a little red flashing light? Like, imagine me walking down the street with this little badge on with a little red flashing light. It's kind of lame.
Yeah.
I'd rather just wear a Bombshow shirt or something like that. Sorry, man. I shouldn't be making fun of your show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Yeah, it's blinking a bit faster now.
Oh, it cycles through modes.
I don't know. I guess it was in a slow mode, and now it's a fast mode. Honestly, I don't know. The other stuff is cool, but yeah, I don't know. This is kind of pointless. Here we go. Yeah, it's got another. It's flashing faster. Great. Oh, how exciting! A flashing red light.
It's flashing faster. Wait, Voltz.
Yeah.
Voltz, chuck the pin. Voltz.
No, I'm gonna have to go now, man.
Chuck it.